Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Honey here. Today I'm finally, putting the cat on the table. I decided that it's finally time to talk about a huge topic in my life that I have been kind of dancing around at this channel for, year and a half at least. And some of you who have been following me for a longer time, watching my videos like of the books I prefer, or my stories on the videos of Lost Seeker, or my Broom Closet videos, I'll link those down below. Some of you might have had some guesses to the right direction, but I haven't been feeling ready to share this, and it's hard for me to try to articulate my thoughts. So bear with me guys, this might be long and rambly, but I'm trying to get this crossed off from my list so that I can move on also in this channel, because a really big part behind the silence on my channel is also the core of this matter that we're talking about. So in case you're new here, I'll do a little recap. I found spirituality and all the things that go underneath that huge umbrella at an older age. And before that, I used to be like a fitness competitor and whatnot, with zero spiritual interests at all. So when, nothing happened and everything happened, and I ended up in this path of wonders and confusion and whatever, just new things coming my way out of nowhere suddenly, and the whole reality and worldview on a grown-up is changing, and that ain't easy. So naturally I was lost. I did a little series of these Lost Seeker videos talking about that process, and all the time I knew that I was seeking something, but I couldn't pinpoint it. So, and I don't go into anything that is important to me like haphazardly. I dive deep. I drill deep, and I started to do research and find what path would be the right one for me. What was the path that was calling me? And I got these little breadcrumbs that I collected individually, and I thought they were just one by one. And at the end, I realized that I have collected a full bread, and I knew where I wanted to go. And for me, that correct path was the path of initiation. And to be more specific, initiation into traditional British witchcraft, and particularly in the Alexandrian witchcraft branch. And I did a lot of searching inward and outward before finding that this was the right path for me. And it wasn't fast track, it wasn't easy, and I still am only in the start of my path, because now I'm finally ready to talk about this thing, since I have had now my proper initiation into Alexandrian witchcraft. So hence, one journey has ended, but the real journey has just begun. And I know it is frustrating for everybody outside of anybody outside of the initiates. I know it's frustrating to have conversations or listen to videos about oath-bound traditions. Trust me, I know. Because as a seeker, when I wanted to know things and I couldn't know more than was given, so I kind of understand that. But I also always understood why it's that way, why it needs to be that way. And I always respected it and found the beauty in it. So I hope that you can bear with me when I'm trying to articulate things the best I can within the limits that I'm in. But for me, how the path from confused, lost seeker ended up to initiation, as I said, was full of research. But nowadays we're lucky, we have good materials, and if you've been watching my book videos, this shouldn't be a surprise, as I said. One really handy-dandy book is Thorn Mooney's Seeker's Guide to Traditional Wicca, which was one of my tools, of course, on top of like her YouTube content and whatever. So I liked to study, even though Thorn Mooney, she's a Gardnerian, but as I said, I wanted to research all the different branches, all the different directions, like solitary witchcraft, and I've had my own practice and everything, but it hasn't been stopping me on doing the research of what was the bread that was, you know, becoming whole when I collected my breadcrumbs. And another amazing tool was Brian Cain's Initiation into Witchcraft. And I'll also link, I interviewed Brian last summer, so I'll link that video down below if you're interested in more thoughts. We talked about this. And even on that day when I did that interview, I knew where I wanted to end up, and I was already on my path of initiation while filming that. So there you can see that it wasn't fast process. But the first concrete step that I did after all this research and internal soul searching was to write an email to a coven here in Finland that I found, an address of a local website here in Finland, and I was so nervous. I've been so nervous so many times during this process that it's super funny. But I wrote my initial email and I deleted, and I wrote and I deleted, and I don't know, at the end, hands shaking, I was just pushing the send button and didn't have to wait all that long to hear back from the coven. And then things started to slowly move on. Like, I tried my best to give the coven an as honest view of me as I can, and which is actually now with the days of social media quite easy, when, well, at least in my case, they could have watched my YouTube videos if they wanted to see what I'm all about and see if I would be, as a person, a right fit for them. And then also I needed to figure out that they were the right people, the right coven for me. And that is actually a highly important part. There needs to be this feeling of truly belonging, at least to me, before I can be part of anything. I don't want to be the wrong person in a right group or right person in a wrong group. I want to be the right person in the right group on all parts of my life, if it's work or whatever, wherever I want to be. So, or friendships, relationships, wherever. And after, you know, this online communication, I got to meet these people on a few occasions, and, you know, to be physically present and go through this, getting to know each other face, and everybody at that time are evaluating, is this a good match or isn't this a good match? And of course also I'd imagine on the part of the coven, they need to evaluate the seeker as if it's a right kind of chemistry, kind of person. What I mean, just as a human being, as a personality, but also on top of that, they need to evaluate if this person is fitted to be part of the witchcraft, you know, training and everything, if this seems like the right path for them, since of course that group who've been doing these things, they know what it's all about. And as a seeker, I knew only the things that were given freely to the whole world, which anybody can, you know, find out if they do research. And the main thing, the main character that this whole long year and a half on my part, roughly, what it taught me was patience. I was getting really familiar with the archetype of the hanged man and also temperance. And I think it was good for me. And I think it's not at all a bad thing that these processes take time. Because it is a big, big decision to the individual, but also to a group that have been already working together and have a good thing going on. It's really understandable that a group like that doesn't want to shake the balance there or do any wrong moves and ruin a good thing that they have going on, if you get what I mean here. But yeah, so now I am officially like an initiated member of an Alexandrian coven, part of the British traditional witchcraft lineage that, you know, come over decades from Alex and Maxine Sanders. And I am finally at peace when it comes to that lost feeling that was hanging on top of me like a cloud, when I knew that there is this thing, but I couldn't name it, I couldn't be sure, I couldn't pinpoint it. Now I feel at ease and I feel excited. I feel excited about the journey that is starting for me. And I know that kind of like people have their opinions when it comes, you know, the umbrella of witchcraft. People have their opinions. Like some people dislike Wicca, some people like it, some people are eclectic, some people are this and that, and that's all good to me. I've never cared what you do. I only care that I do what I want to do, and I think that's a really good philosophy that people should, you know, focus more on, maybe, other than what other people are doing. But I just wanted to be able to share this with you guys, because I know many of you have been with me on my journey, supporting me and giving me the interaction and social connection when it comes to spiritual and magical stuff, when I haven't had that in my mundane physical life. And for that support, I thank each and every one of you. And you guys know that it has meant a lot to me. when I've been able to reflect my thoughts. And my intention on my channel in the future is not to really talk about this part of my life so much, because it is tricky. And we have voices in the YouTube like Thorn Mooney, Jack Chanik, or Brian Cain, Levi Rowland, Ellie Barnes in the Hex Education channel, for example, that are experienced initiates and do talk about these things. We have a lot of great podcasts from initiates. So I don't know, I don't feel that I have the need to try to talk about this. My goal is to focus on my path of learning, growing, evolving as an individual, as also a part of a coven. So that's my main focus. But at least now that I've, picked the cat up, put it on the table, the elephant, whatever you call it in every culture, at least now you guys know where I stand. And now maybe you understand my taste in books better or whatever. Which reminds me, the next video that I'm gonna publish is about new book haul that I, got from UK, because that place is a treasure chest for books for my interest. But I think this ramble was pretty much it that I wanted to say, and that I feel lighter now. And I hope that now, after I've been forward and honest about this part of my path, even though I don't owe anybody anything, I know that, but I feel better. I feel more relaxed, because I always want to be authentic. I always want to be real, and I always want to be me. That's just my very Finnish nature. What you see is what you get. And now you guys know this, and I understand that people might have opinions. Some people might think it's a good thing, some people might think it's a bad thing, and you're all allowed to your opinions. And if you want to talk, and if you have questions, comments, just put them down below. Let's talk. But I hope that this helps me to get more active also here in the channel, because I really missed you guys. So until next time, bye guys.